This is Over the Bars, the Supercross podcast that I've been waiting for. I'm Steven, and joining me again is Allison.
Hey.
Hello, Allison. Of course, here at Over the Bars, each week we're giving out our thoughts on the most recent Supercross race. So, of course, this week we're going to be talking about what happened in Phoenix this past Saturday. Phoenix, of course, being the second race of the 2015 season. But first, there's something I want to mention from last week's race in Anaheim that I found interesting that I really just forgot to bring up last week. Both second place finishers in the main events on that's Zach Osborne on the 250 race and Jason Anderson on the 450 race. Both of them were riding on Husqvarna motorcycles. Husqvarna, Swedish motorcycles.
Husqvarna.
Yeah. These are motorcycles, and they're new to Supercross this year. They've been over in Europe for a few years.
Well, they are reintroduced because they have actually a very long tradition of racing. They were invented in Sweden in 1903 and kind of had their heyday in the 60s and 70s, where 14 motocross world championship titles and 24 enduro European championships were won on by such riders as Torsten Hallman and Rolf Tiblin.
This is a lot of information about a motorcycle that I can't even really pronounce the name of.
Well, maybe we can ask the Swedish Siri if she can help us pronounce this word. There's a Swedish Siri, right? Let's see if we can find her.
Swedry?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, Swedish Siri. How do you pronounce Husqvarna? I don't even know if I spelled that right. Let's see if she can figure it out though.
Husqvarna, Swedish.
Wait, what was that?
Husqvarna, Swedish.
Husqvarna? Is that what she said?
I don't know what she said. I'm just gonna call them Huskarduskers or maybe Huskardoos.
Well, I think their nickname
okay?
is at least with the motorcycles, is Husky.
That's too. I like Huskardoos.
Oh, you like Husker? We can say Huskardoos. I agree.
And
That's
of course,
pretty good. So riding on Huskardoos this year, we've got Jason Anderson and Zach Osborne.
Right, both finishing second. And
In
one
Anaheim,
of the reasons I'm bringing this up
won.
is, of course, I have a Huskardoo. I bought it, about a year ago, and it's been great. It always starts. I pushed it hard this past season. Never had any mechanical problems at all. I've been really excited. It actually has a Honda engine, but it is manufactured by Huskardoo. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, I was really impressed last year watching you mow the lawn, and so I thought definitely
mow the lawn with my Huskardoo.
If you didn't have that Huskardoo, I'm not sure the lawn would look nearly as nice. So
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good fit for you.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the races. That's enough about Anaheim 1. This week we had Phoenix, the 250 race, the winner, Cooper Webb.
Yeah, Cooper Webb, 19-year-old, winning I don't know, has he won before? I'm not even sure, but that was good to see him up.
They always talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
And so for him to get the race, I think the announcers were excited about that.
Yeah, that was good, but I was most excited actually to see Malcolm Stewart get his best career finish in second place.
Second place.
That was really good.
Yeah, Malcolm is, of course, James Stewart's younger and bigger brother. James Stewart, we talked about a lot last week.
Bigger as in kind of taller.
Taller, yeah.
Longer hair, definitely.
A lot taller. Yeah, definitely longer hair, too, and a lot taller. And so it's kind of funny to see him on the bike because he's just bigger than all the other riders.
He is, and really, I kind of see it as a comeback because last week he crashed a few times. I'm sure it was a lot of distraction around James Stewart and him not racing this season. So, the pressure's on for Malcolm to kind of pick up the slack for the family name. So it kind of looked like it was starting again that way for him this week.
Right. He crashed in the heat race.
He did.
He crashes a lot in like last season, and it's usually he makes a lot of mistakes, but here in the heat race, he was running pretty well, but then a rider, and I think it was like the first lap, a rider in front of him just completely spilled, and Malcolm just kind of ran right into that guy, ran onto the bike, which was just lying on the track.
He's kind of a magnet for that type of thing, I think, unfortunately. But
So he went to the LCQ.
Yeah, I went to the LCQ and ended up winning.
Got the whole shot.
Even though he probably had the worst gate pick, he went ahead and got the whole shot in the 250 race.
And he was like immediately ahead of everybody in the LCQ.
Yeah, I mean, he was ahead.
By that third turn, he was like 5 bike lengths ahead. I mean, it was crazy how much faster
he was ahead and charging. Looked like James Stewart actually in his the way he was kind of tackling the course, and it looked like it was going to start off that way again in the 250 race, but he eventually did get passed by Cooper Webb. So that's why I think this week our platitude winner should be Malcolm Stewart. Malcolm, you persevered, you succeeded, you are the winner of the Phoenix Platitude. Congratulations
to Malcolm
Stewart.
The Stewart way, winning the Platitude.
Yes.
So if he's winning the Platitude for the 250, what else happened in the 250?
Well, Jesse with a Y, he ended up getting third place and remains our points leader. So he did a good job. I actually thought he would win again because he was kind of killing it in the heat races, but he ended up with third. And we learned an interesting tidbit about Jesse.
That's
with
true.
A Y.
Yeah, last week we were asking who is Jesse Nelson. All we knew was that he had some pizzazz in the way that he spelled his name.
Yeah, but this week we did learn that he's not just Jesse with a Y. He's Jesse with a gimp thumb. Jesse actually ended up losing his, his thumb as a child, and he
in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, right. And he actually rides with a thumb prosthetic
to help him grip the bars.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty interesting to learn. That's kind of a bit of a handicap, I'm sure. I mean, your hands are pretty important on a motorcycle. So the fact that he's been able to work around that is definitely a really interesting trait with Jesse with a Y. So
getting the win.
Yeah, and getting third place.
But he can't do that thing where he says, "Who won Anaheim? Won this guy," and like point at himself. I guess he could with one hand.
Yeah, I guess. Bowers,
Tyler Bowers,
kind of made a splash last week because he had that incident with was it Zach Osborne?
Yeah, he kind of knocked Osborne off the track, and then Osborne came back with a broken thumb.
Yeah.
To beat
speaking
Bowers.
of thumbs,
Yeah.
So Bowers did end up placing ahead of Osborne this race, but he did not end up on the podium. He got fourth place. So he's still third in the championship, and we'll continue to keep tabs on him because I'm sure we haven't seen the last of Tyler Bowers.
I'm sure, right. He'll be back. He's still there. All right, so the 450 race.
I want to go racing.
The 450 race winner this week was...
Eli Tomac.
Eli Tomac of Geico Honda, my favorite personal racing team.
ET3.
That's right.
ET3. Eli is one of my favorite riders. Really enjoyed watching him and his old former Geico Honda teammate Justin Barsha in the 250 class. They were always my favorite riders to cheer for. So it was great to see him get his first win
ever.
In 15 attempts.
First ever 450 win.
Yeah, exactly.
15 attempts already? I guess all of last season.
Yeah, it would. I mean, he was kind of sidelined with injuries last season, so it would have been probably seen him on the podium before. But unfortunately, because he finished 20th last week, he's still 21 points behind Roxon.
Yikes. Yeah.
And
Tomac, he got the whole shot in the 450 main event, and then lost the lead to Roxon. And at that point, we thought it was done.
We did. We thought Roxon kind of was going to run away with it. And I think watching Roxon, something about him sort of does remind me of Villapoto. So I expect him to jump ahead and stay there like Villapoto used to do.
Right.
But
yeah.
Roxon doesn't quite have that ability to kind of keep the stamina going throughout the entire length of the race. So I think the races are, as a result, going to be a bit more exciting with him. He's a strong contender, but he may not win every race, which is good. Good for the fans anyway. and folks like us watching at home. But yeah, the battle between them was really exciting. You were looking at a battle between the 2012 250 race winner, which was Tomac, and the 2013 250 race winner, which was Roxon, and kind of to see them battle back and forth was really, really good. Although it took a while for the coverage to catch up with them.
Yeah, they weren't showing them.
Yeah, they were showing the crowd favorite Chad Reed, who was hanging back, like 10th place or something like that, and they were showing that. We're like, wait a minute, look at there's only like a second between Tomac and Roxon, and then finally they switched to show them racing, and they kind of went back and forth, and finally Tomac passed Roxon in the 8th lap.
Right. So yeah, that pylon, that's what they were calling that score, that running standings in the left side. They're calling it a pylon. Yeah. And that's the word they were using.
Okay.
I guess it reminds them of the band. But yeah, they had the seconds behind each rider, and we could see that it was getting closer and closer and closer. Tomac was
I'm going to call it the 5th column. Is that okay?
The 5th column, yeah, we can call it that. So he was getting closer and closer to Roxon. After Roxon had passed him, but Tomac caught back up. And you know what? Both of them, they were very clean passes. I mean, there was something about this track. There was a lot more turns in it. Maybe not a lot more, but there were more like 180 turns in the track. So it was like the passes were all really clean. There wasn't a lot of bumping. The riders were able to take different lines to get around each other. So they were really passing based on speed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It definitely was not messy, in that sense, in terms of their passing.
Yeah, and that made it for a really exciting race.
And Tomac called it respect. That there's a lot of respect between him and Roxon while they were racing. Good. We'll see how long that lasts as they kind of move forward.
If Tomac can catch up in the points,
rivals,
in the season points, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about Roxon and how last week you were kind of dissing Chad Reed and his earring. What do you think about Roxon's earring? Because it's pretty prominent.
Oh, I didn't even notice. He has a prominent earring?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I guess it's his left ear. It's his, it could be an ear extender.
He needs to get ear extenders.
It's either an earring or an ear extender, one of the two. But yeah, it's pretty prominent. He's always worn that one. It looks almost like a tire in his ear.
Yeah, we totally need a Supercross rider with like a huge ear extender. So like they take off their helmet and Jenny Taft walks up to them and they kind of shake, the sweat out of their hair, and like you got these big flappy ears. I'm excited about this actually.
Although that would look better probably on Weston Pike because he kind of looks like one of those Easter Island dudes anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's got like the whole beard
got that
and
long chin.
Yeah, so Pike ear extenders, hashtag Pike for ear extenders or something like that. We need to get this trending.
He seems a bit more conservative than Roxon, so I doubt we'll see that. But
that's true.
It would be a pretty good look.
Roxon's German, and there's like it's like a German thing somewhat, isn't it?
Yeah, probably somewhat of a German thing. We'll go with that. We'll blame it on him
Roxon
being European.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we definitely need to get this going.
Speaking of Pike, he got his best finish ever in 4th place. Pike. Yeah, the long-term privateer who actually started getting on factory teams as of last year.
Right.
Is on, was it JGR Yamaha this year with
year,
Justin Barsha?
He's on Barsha's team, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about this race. What did you think about his battle with Dungey?
You know what? Well, Pike was the big news because he was having such a great race. I think he won a semi. Yeah, he won a semi that he competed in. But then Dungey comes back. So Pike was in like 3rd the whole time, but then Dungey passes him in like the 17th lap, really late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was amazing. I mean, Dungey was in 4th again the entire
race. He wasn't. He actually Dungey actually ended up 3rd, and
he did end up 3rd. He passed Pike. Yeah,
Mr. Consistency. That was his 57th podium, and he remains actually 2nd in points, which is a very typical spot for Dungey to be in the championship race, number 2. But Weston Pike, that was so great. And actually we learned after the race by checking out his Instagram what happened, how that pass really ended up happening. It had less to do with Dungey's aggressiveness and more to do with the fact that Pike broke a bone in his foot.
Yeah, that right before Dungey passed him.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that until later. So I was all really proud of Dungey, and I think Dungey listens to this podcast personally.
I think he may.
Yeah, they interviewed Dungey after the race, and he had to say this.
A lot of guys give me crap for not making that passes or blowing people off the track, but it takes like to see them get out here and do it. It's tough.
So yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was calling him out for not making passes, and there he is responding to me. So Dungey, I'm glad you listened to the podcast. I think it's great. I will get out there and do it on my Husqvarna because on my Husqvarna lawnmower.
I mean, it's hard to beat you when you get on your Husky Doo.
And I was really happy for Dungey, but then it turned out that Pike had broken his foot he missed a jump. Something happened, and he broke his foot. He didn't fall over. He stayed on the bike, but somehow his foot broke, and that's when Dungey passed him. So as excited as I was for Dungey finally passing somebody,
we've got the gimp foot.
It wasn't really.
We've got the gimp thumb.
Exactly.
We've got the gimp earring. And speaking of gimps, where was Chad Reed?
Chad Reed, yeah, he he finished 10th in the race, and he's 10th in standings at minus 25 points. And for those of you that don't know, 25 points is how many points the first place rider earns for ending up in first place. So Reed's now a full race behind Roxon this early in the season. He can catch up, but I'm not really surprised where he is. I mean, like I said, there's a reason why he's so slow this year, and I think Tag can tell us exactly what that reason is.
Chad Reed is 32 years, 9 months, and 26 days old.
Yes, he is. That's absolutely right. Or it was when he raced on Saturday. And, I think that's showing.
Yeah, well, that may be the most significant thing about him this year. We'll see. So next week, where's our race next week?
Anaheim. We are back in Anaheim for Anaheim 2. That's why we were calling it Anaheim 1 last week. It's because there's going to be several races in Anaheim. And so next week, Anaheim 2.
Okay, well, for a little preview of that race, let's see what Mem has to say.
Okay, Anaheim is known for being the home of Disneyland, so all you Supercross fans will have a great time. After watching the race, just hop on over to Disney and get your own thrills riding on Space Mountain. Oh yes, and the weather. Always sunny in Southern California.
I've heard that, yeah.
I've heard that too.
So sunny weather in Anaheim next week. Perfect weather for everybody to go to Disney World after the race. Of course, the race ends at 10 o'clock West Coast time, but that sounds like a good time to go to Disney World. It's probably the best time.
Yeah, or maybe just Epcot. Do they have Epcot in California?
I don't think so.
Or is that just in Florida?
That's just in Florida, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Never mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Who knows?
Well, you can always go to Epcot the week after. There's a race in Daytona. We can go to Epcot then.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea. Good idea.
So we weren't able to get Jeff to watch the race with us this week.
I know I couldn't find the caveats. I looked everywhere, but
we have so many people.
I couldn't produce them. So unfortunately, Jeff didn't make it. But gosh, what would it take for Jeff to watch the race in Anaheim 2? Let's see.
Hey, you two. I will watch a motorcycle pageant with you if you can answer me one question first. What is with all this Jesus Charlie stuff I'm suddenly seeing? Is there a new Jesus? Is he named Charlie? Is this something I should be concerned about? Just give back to me.
Yeah, okay. So,
did he say Jesus Charlie?
I think he's thinking of Jesus Charlie.
Jesus Charlie?
He's a French motorcycle rider.
Oh, the French. Long tradition of motorcycling in France.
Yeah, so I don't know why Jeff has been hearing about him this week.
I don't either. I don't know that we've had a big kind of star in Supercross from France since maybe Christophe Purcell. Do you remember the
Purcell?
pro circuit rider from a few years back?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'd need him back.
He would win every single race. That was that whole season was completely boring for that 250.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was East or West, but yeah, that's what I think of when I think of France and Supercross is Christophe Purcell. But yeah, maybe this Jesus Charlie fellow is
Jesus Charlie
fellow is one to watch in the future. So that's all I can really say. Yeah, but we'll try to find out more for Jeff. We'll see. But
Getting him in for the Anaheim race.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll look forward to next week, and we're going to take us out with a song, actually by a French band called the Lemmy Nanas. This song is called My Black Sabbath.
Thanks everybody for listening. Find us on Twitter at SXOverTheBars. See you next week.